Good morning. Happy Sunday, people. Listen, stay safe if you're traveling to the Arsenal game today. Storm Dennis has swept across the UK after Storm Kira. It is literally just destroying everything along its way. So listen, if you are going to a football match today, do wrap up warm, do stay safe. And if it is too dangerous, don't go. Even if it is your first ever football match, stay at home. It is not worth getting into any trouble or any danger. Obviously, I am doing a watch along for the game later on, Arsenal versus Newcastle. Fully go and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and go and follow my boy Guna Eagle Eye. His link is in the description. We will be doing a watch along for the game. I'm in sunny Spain, so there's no storms over here right now. It has literally been like low 20s degrees. It's been kind of nice. I'm getting my tan on, getting my skinny little body out by the pool. But listen, we're going to speak about Man City, and there's a story that's come out about Man City. Obviously, we know breaking news a couple of days ago that they have been banned for now from all European competitions, not just the Champions League, which was what the headlines were for everyone. They are actually banned from every competition in Europe. So that includes Europa League. Now, whether that ban goes through fully or not, that's down to the appeal committee. Obviously, they're going to appeal it. They're going to throw a lot of money at it. This is big, big news for Man City, and it is a big, big damage to their brand, a big damage to their players. I mean, a lot of them players might have a clause in their contract that says if they don't get Champions League, they can leave. What does this also mean for their manager, Pep Guardiola? I mean, listen, his contract expires in 2021. I personally think he will leave anyway at the end of the season. I think he was always going to leave at the end of the season. He tends to stick around for about 3 or 4 years, then he's gone. So I do think he was going to leave anyway. But obviously, they've got Real Madrid in the Champions League in the next round, which is played next week, I believe. So he is going to have to go all out to go and win that. And even if they win it, they're then not qualified for it next season regardless. So maybe he could walk out on a high by winning the Champions League. Whether they can get over Real Madrid or not remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola, for me, will be available in the summer. And his services are going to be touted by pretty much every big club in Europe. And rightly so. Listen, people can throw out that Fraudiola won, or he can only do it with money. He can only do it with the best player in the world, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's the case. I think he is a great manager. He's up there with the elite managers over all of the decades and way past my lifetime of watching football. I think he's fantastic. And obviously Arsenal, my club, they've now got his, you can call him what you like, they've got his assistant. And we're starting to see certain things implemented at Arsenal that Pep does at Man City. The difference is they've got the calibre of player that can implement them things. We haven't. Now, I am going to read a report out in a short while. I just want to move on to the fact that Liverpool won yesterday. Man City are the current champions of England. And what does this mean for the ban on Europe? I mean, I'm going to come to the fact that they could be expelled from the league in a minute, but they are the current champions. If they do remain in the Premier League, are they favourites to go and win it next season? Obviously, Liverpool will be in the Champions League. They're romping away with a title. They've only dropped 2 points all season. And they've been absolutely unbelievable. They are the best team in the league by an absolute mile. And it's a massive fall from grace from Man City. But for me, I think that if they do stay in the Premier League next season, they don't get relegated or expelled, whatever you want to call it, I make them favourites. Because they'll go from 1 week to the next without any European football. But it's how many of their players they can keep hold of. The De Bruynes, the Agueros, players of that calibre. We know that Leroy Sané is more likely going to leave. What does this mean for Mahrez? What about Bernardo Silva, David Silva? You know, some of their players, Kyle Walker's another one. Their goalkeeper. You know, the list of unbelievable players they've got is relentless. But I am going to read out a little statement that was put into a report that I read before I started making this video. And rather than me misquoting it, I do want to read through the whole thing. And obviously, Sheikh Mansour, the money man, I mean, imagine having that level of wealth. It's just way beyond comprehension. But there was a report from a guy called Miguel Delaney of The Independent, and he said high-level sources have claimed that the Premier League will now plot their own response to a serious breaches, and this could manifest itself in a points deduction. Could City be relegated to League Two? That's one of the questions posed. However, one of the most eyebrow-raising points raised in the report explains how City could technically be dumped into League Two by the way of a possible Premier League expulsion. Whilst unlikely, England's top division does have the power to expel teams, and it was recently ruled that any such club would have to start rebuilding from the fourth tier of football. The report continues on to explain, while no one sees the expulsion from the Premier League as likely, the Football League have recently changed their rules so that any club in that situation must start again in League Two. Listen, they're down there with Forest Green Rovers, Mansfield Town and Grimsby. Obviously, you've got Guardiola, you've got Aguero, you've got all of these mad players, top manager, blah, blah, blah. Is this likely to happen? That is the biggest question of all. And it depends on what the FA want to do. Because if the FA want to make an exception, and go, right, we're gonna jump all over this, then they will expel them and put them down in League Two, backing up what that report says, that it is now compulsory that if you breach these certain rules and you get found guilty of that, you are expelled to League Two and have to climb your way back up. Is that the end of Man City? I don't know. This is all hearsay. This is all ifs, buts and maybes right now. But they have broken the rules. And since I broke the video yesterday on the live stream, sorry, the day before yesterday on Friday night, since I put that video out there where I was saying, look, it means nothing for Arsenal because we ain't going to get fifth anyway, and everyone laughing, whilst it is to Arsenal fans kind of amusing, for me, listen, I'm not biased. I'm not a fan that just jumps on a wave of whatever and just follows the crowd. I read everything, I look at everything, and I form my own opinion, which is why I've got so many subscribers on this channel that are non-Arsenal fans, because Arsenal fans probably want to smash my face in because I just say what they don't want to hear, because the truth hurts, unfortunately. But for me, stripping all of this back, all of the news back, where do I sit with it? They're banned from European competition for 2 years. Will that be kept in place after the appeal process? Probably not. I do think that they will get some level of ban, whether that be a European ban, whether that be a transfer ban, whether that be a commercial deal ban, or whether that then be a relegation via the Premier League. But at the end of the day, UEFA need to do something. They found them guilty of breaching FFP. So UEFA need to bring their sanctions down on them. But then separately, the Premier League, the FA, can then step in and do their own investigation or go off on the back of the UEFA one and say, well, actually, you've broken rule A, B or C. We're now going to implement our punishment. So it could be a double whammy. And I've seen people out there saying strip them of their titles, relegate them. Listen, you can't strip people of titles. I know that in different sports, I know that other people have been banned and then they've had all their titles stripped from previously. Football's kind of different. Would that financial doping, as it were, or is alleged, would that have meant that they won the league last season? I don't know. You can't genuinely know that. I don't know. But at the same time, if they have breached the rules and it goes through an appeal process and then UEFA stick to what it is or maybe downgrade it a little bit but still give them a level of punishment and then the FA step in, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. But the thing that I will say on this is that other clubs out there are now going to be sitting there bricking it. The likes of PSG, perhaps, the likes of maybe even Real Madrid. They've done £200 million in the summer. Even Barcelona, they got the highest wage bill in world football. So there's going to be a lot of clubs out there. I know people have thrown the Chelsea one at me. Chelsea are run really well, despite what people think. They've got a net spend in the last 5 years of about £120 million. And they run their company which, let's be real, football is a business nowadays. Even though I don't like calling it that, football is a business, and Chelsea run a tight ship. It's not like the old days where a Sheikh Mansour or a Roman could come in and just go, boom, there's all the money. Which is why I get the ump when I see Arsenal fans going, oh, but Stan, sell this and give it to the Nigerian guy, Dangote, or Dangote, whatever his name is. The only way you can spend more is increase your revenue. If your revenue's not all that, you can't spend more. You can only increase your wage bill £7 million a year. That's fact. FFP shows that. FFP have stitched Man City up. They blocked AC Milan's appeal, and AC Milan have to adhere to their ban now. So let's see. Now it is. I don't like to say Man City are a bigger club than AC Milan, because when I was growing up, AC Milan were huge, like the biggest or one of the biggest. But as of modern football right now, Man City are a powerhouse. You can't deny that. So it'd be very interesting to see if the powers that be at UEFA and at the FA go, do you know what? We're actually going to make an example of you, and we're actually going to do this, which will then cut out anybody in the future taking liberties. Sadly, I don't think it's going to go that way. But listen, leave it all in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts and comments on all of this. Do you think they'll be relegated? Personally, I don't think they will. They'll probably get a massive points deduction where they start maybe, I don't know, 30 points behind everyone else next season by the FA. That's if they step in. In terms of UEFA, I don't think they're going to give them a 2-year ban. I think maybe a transfer ban, perhaps. But we shall see. And this is going to run on all through the summer. But listen, I'd love to know your thoughts and comments on this. It is going to run on for a lot of months now. But leave it all in the comment section down below. Big up all the members that have watched this pretty much 10 minutes after I uploaded it, which is in about a minute's time when I upload it. If you want to become a channel member, link is in the description. Go check that out. And don't forget the watch along for the game later on today. I will be doing that, and the starting 11 reaction. So until later on today when we play Newcastle, fingers crossed the game goes ahead and Storm Dennis don't kill that off. I'm out of here. Latest, peeps.